Okay, so in this last video, I'm going to do 3 exam style questions. You might want to try them yourself first and then watch me go through them, or you might like to just watch me do them and then you can be a bit more prepared for when you try some practice later on. Okay, so this first question is kind of like a pure sort of algebra style question. It just says that p is an integer, which is important, it's a whole number, such that there is this inequality and there is this inequality. Find all the possible values of p. Well, this kind of feels like 2 separate questions. It feels like this question and it feels like this question over here. So I'm going to start off with that first one, which is 4p minus 7 is greater than or equal to 5. Well, this is a really simple one. This is just literally solve the regular inequality. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides to get rid of that takeaway 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the answer to the first inequality is p is greater than 3. So you all could solve this one. Even if you can't do the quadratic so well, this is a 5 marker, so you definitely would want to make sure that you can do that for some of the marks. Now the second one is our 16p over p squared plus 7 is greater than 2. So my first step here is going to be to multiply both sides by p squared plus 7. And I'm going to need to make sure I do that in brackets. So I'm going to multiply by p squared plus 7. Now I'm allowed to multiply by p squared plus 7 because it's definitely a positive number. That's always going to be 0 or greater. So overall it's definitely positive when it comes up here. Now I'm going to make this a quadratic, so I'm going to expand these brackets of 2p squared plus 14 like this, and I'm going to put it all on one side, so I have 2p squared minus 16p plus 14. Now this one happens to be able to divide by 2, it might not always do that, but I'm going to divide the 0 by 2 to get 0, and I get p squared minus 8p plus 7. So if this was just a regular thing, p squared minus 8p plus 7 equals 0 rather than an inequality, we could do a p minus 7 and a p minus 1. We're thinking of 2 numbers that multiplied to 7, which is minus 7 and minus 1, and then added to minus 8, because minus 7 minus 1 is minus 8. So when I do a sketch of what this is going to look like, we're going to say that it's crossing at 7 and 1. So again, I'm not that bothered about the sketch being too accurate, but it's between 1 and 7. And we want the graph to be less than 0. So less than 0 is everything that's underneath the line. Less than 0 is this section. So we are referring to p being in between 7 and 1. Now, you're probably tempted to be like, great, that's the end of the question, we can give up. But we need to go back and actually see what it says. It says find all the possible values of p. So this means we want to find some values of p so that p is greater than or equal to 3 and it is in between 1 and 7. Well, if something is greater than or equal to 3, it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it just keeps going and going. But if it's in between 1 and 7, it has to be greater than 1, so it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it has to be less than 7. So you can't include 7 because it actually has to be less than 7. So the only numbers that are actually in both of these are 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the possible values of p are 3, 4, 5, 6. It has to make both of these inequalities true at the same time because of this word and. It said we need it to be true for this and we need it to be true for that. So that would be like a 5-mark kind of question, and it actually does want you to give some number answers because of the fact they said that p was an integer. Okay, let's try this second question, which is now going to bring in quadratic inequalities to some geometric kind of problems, and it starts to blend it with some other topics. So it says here, given that the area of the triangle is greater than 2¼ centimeters squared, find the set of possible values of x. Okay, the lengths shown are all in centimeters. Great, so everything in this question is all about centimeters. Now, I want to try and find out the area of this triangle because it's talking about the area of the triangle being greater than 2¼ centimeters squared. So first of all, let's see if we can remember anything about the area of a triangle. Well, I think we should remember that the formula for the area of a triangle is a half AB sine C. Now that's when you have a triangle that looks like this. That's C, that's A, and B like this. So the area of this triangle is going to be a half multiplied by, well, I don't need to use the multiplication symbol because I can just go straight in with some brackets. A half multiplied, it doesn't matter which is A and B, but I'm going to go with the 2x minus 1, the 5 minus x for the other side, and then the sine of C, the angle in between, the sine of 30 degrees. Now, sine of 30 you should know as an exact value, but the sine of 30, I will just show you on here, is a half. The sine of 30 is a half. So we're going to say that it is a half multiplied by 2x minus 1 multiplied by 5 minus x multiplied by a half. Well, let's just do a little bit of tidying up. We can do the half times by the half, and a half times a half is a quarter. So the area of a triangle that we have here is a quarter brackets 2x minus 1 brackets 5 minus x. So we found out the area of the triangle. Now let's do this next part where we want to say that it is greater than 2 1/4 centimeters squared. So we want the area of the triangle, let's make that a bigger bracket, we want it to be greater than 2 1/4. 2 1/4 is 2.25, right? Now, I could expand all of these brackets here with this quarter, or I can deal with this quarter straight away because it's annoying having a fraction. So my first step I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 4. This side is really easy to multiply by 4 because you just get this. But 2 1/4 multiplied by 4, well, if you're going to do it non-calculator, 2 1/4, think of that as an improper fraction. That's 2 times 4 plus 1. That is 9 quarters. So 9 quarters multiplied by 4 is just going to be 9. Or you could do 2.25 multiplied by 4, which would also give you the answer 9 as well. So now that we've got to this stage, it looks like we are ready to do a quadratic inequality. And if we remember earlier on, the first thing we need to do is to try and make this look like a standard quadratic because we don't know the roots yet. We can't just say that it's 5 1/2 because of this, because it has to be when it's a 0 here. So I'm going to expand these brackets on the left-hand side. I'm going to expand them really carefully. So I'm going to say the 2x times 5 is 10x, and the 2x times minus x is minus 2x squared. The minus 1 times the 5 is minus 5, and the minus 1 times the minus x is plus x, and that is greater than 9. Now, I usually like to have quadratics where this thing is positive, so I'm going to put all of the stuff on this side of the inequality. So I'm going to put the 2x squared over there, and I'm also going to subtract this 10x and this x, that's 11x, so when it goes over there, it's going to be minus 11x. And then I've got the 9 and the 5 over here, so I'm going to add the 5 and I get 14. Now that I've got to this stage, I need to think of how I might be able to factorize this equation. So I've got 0 equals 2x squared minus 11x plus 14. Now there's a number of different ways of factorising this kind of thing. There's lots of different methods for this, but sometimes you might be able to just spot what it is that they're going to be, if it can factorise. So I'm going to try and see if it can first of all. Well, I know the beginning parts are going to have to be a 2x and an x, and to be able to get something with a positive 14 but a negative over here, there's definitely going to have to be a negative. And we know that 14 is really only going to be composed of like a 7 times 2. So I'm just going to play around and see how these might fit in here. So maybe if I put the 7 over here, that gives me minus 7x. And the 2 over here gives me minus 4x. Minus 7x minus 4x does give me minus 11x. So this does actually work here, but you might like to use some other kind of techniques for factorising these. I haven't done a video on that yet, but there will be a video about different ways of factorising quadratics that look like this, okay? So now that we've got to this stage, we can actually go ahead with some solutions. So either we know that 2x minus 7 is equal to 0, so 2x minus 7 equals 0, so x is equal to 7 over 2, or 3.5 centimetres, or this one, x is equal to 2, or 2 centimetres, but not actually finished the question yet, so I don't really need to put the centimetres on. we now need to actually solve this equation where it is less than 0. So we've got these critical values, which means we can draw the graph. So it's going to be between 2.2 over here and 3.5, and we want the graph to be less than 0. You kind of like read that inequality backwards. So less than 0 is this section. So it looks like the set of values that x can be is in between 2 and 3.5. Now what we also need to do before we actually check that this is the final answer is we need to go back and see if 2 and 3.5 make sense in this real world situation. So 5 minus 2 is going to be a positive number, and 5 minus 3.5 is also going to be a positive number. We need to check that this triangle can actually exist in the real world, and that needs to be a positive length. And 2x minus 1, 2x, 2 times 2 minus 1, yep, that's also going to be positive. And 2 times 3.5 minus 1, that's going to be 6, that's also going to be positive. So that is real for this triangle. Now I would think if this was actually an exam question, I think that they would probably ask you for part A of the question. They would say something like, part A, show that this thing here is true. I think this would be like a part A sort of style, and I think that would be worth around 3 marks. And then it would say, for part B of the question, find the set of possible values of x. I think that's likely to be what part B might say, and that would also be for 3 marks. So this question that I think would be split into 2 parts would be 6 marks overall, which is a reflection of the challenge that's going on in this question that we've got here. Okay, there's one more question that we're going to have a look at, which is right here. Okay, so in this last question, this is probably another sort of 5-6 marker question, probably a 5 marker. It's got these 2 shapes that we've got here, and it says all measurements are in centimetres. The area of the triangle is less than the area of the rectangle. Find the set of possible values of x. So as soon as we see less than or greater than, we know it's going to be an inequalities style question. So we're just going to figure out first of all the area of the triangle, and then we'll do the area of the rectangle, and then we'll put it all together. So the area of the triangle, we know the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. So the base times the height divided by 2. So the base is 4, the height is 3x minus 5, and dividing it by 2 is the same as multiplying it by a half. So I'm going to do first of all the 4 times the half, which is just a 2. So it's 2 brackets 3x minus 5, which is 6x minus 10. Now we're going to have a look at the area of the rectangle. Now we know you find the area of a rectangle, it's just the length times the width. So it's going to be the x plus 3 multiplied by the x minus 2. Let's expand those, so it's going to be x squared plus 3x minus 2x, that's just plus x, minus 6. Now I'm going to go back to this sentence. I want the area of the triangle to be less than the area of the rectangle. So I want the area of the triangle to be less than the area of the rectangle. Now we've translated it from the words into the mathematical sort of sentence. We can just go about solving the quadratic inequality. So we're going to get it all onto one side so that it looks like a sort of a traditional quadratic. So I'm going to subtract 6x from here. So it becomes minus 5x. And I'm going to do the minus 6 plus the 10, which is plus 4. So we're trying to solve this equation, x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. It's going to factorise nicely. I've done all of these as factorising. Some of them will have quadratic formula or completing the square. So it's going to be x minus 4, x minus 1. So the solutions are going to be that x is 1 and 4. So yeah, I've done most of them in this video. Is quite nice, but don't be alarmed if you see one that comes up and it is, what am I talking about? If it comes up and it's quadratic formula and it has surds and stuff. Sorry, my diagram was getting really messy there. So in between 1 and 4. Now we want the graph to be greater than 0. So greater than 0 is referring to this section and this section that we have here. So it looks like our solutions are going to be that x is greater than 4 or x is less than 1. Now we need to check and see if this makes sense in the context of the question. Can x be greater than 4 and can x be less than 1? Well, if x is greater than 4, we would have 3 times, I don't know, let's say it's 5. 3 times 5 minus 5. Yeah, you could have a triangle that was 10 by 4. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 5 is 10. And if it was 5 over here as well, we could have 8 times by 3. Yeah, that seems to make sense. However, let's think about this x being less than 1. Well, even if x was equal to 1, you'd have 3 times 1 minus 5. We'd be saying that the length of this side is minus 2. And if x was 1 over here, that would be fine, because you'd have 4, but you'd be saying the length of this side is minus 1. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So this one doesn't make any sense in the context of the question. So x minus 1, this doesn't work, as lengths cannot be negative. So the answer to this question is the set of possible values of x is that x has to be greater than 4. That's the only way that the area of the triangle will be less than the area of the rectangle. Okay, it has to be only this one, because this part doesn't make sense in the context of the diagram that we've got here. So it's always worth checking that, because that could be the difference between that final mark getting it and not getting it. Okay, so that's everything on quadratic inequalities. Definitely gets challenging when you put it in some exam context. You can see how they like to blend it with other things like this half AB sine C and the areas of different shapes. So be aware it might pop up in some unfamiliar kinds of scenarios. Found this video helpful? Then why not drop it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. This is the end of the playlist, but head to my channel's homepage to see what else I might be able to help you with. And as always, wishing you the very best for all your studies.